Hey guys, before we get started, don't forget to check the description below where you'll find links to my musiclessons.com videos, as well as the gear that I use, and a link to my blog called The Everyday Musician. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to another Bob Ross in the Art of Guitar video. And in today's video, I'm going to discuss part 2 of harmonizing your solo. So what you saw in the beginning was just an excerpt of me playing over a blues, and the focus of that was to harmonize the notes that I was playing. Now a lot of that was off the top of my head. I didn't have any preconceived ideas of what I was going to do. I just started to play. And a lot of that has come from experience of just trying it out, just putting myself out there and seeing what I could do. And I remember the idea of trying that was really influenced by listening to people like Ben Monder or Kreisberg, Rosenwinkel, of course, Mike Marino. Now, the guitarists from the past have also done that, but I specifically remember Ben Monder for some reason. I remember hearing him play, and it's just like these lines of chords going by. So, for me to break into that and to implement that in my playing, what I did was work on forcing myself to apply chords in my practice, like applying those chords as I'm soloing. And there was two things that I had done in the intro, and one of those is to play a note, and that was once again over a B-flat blues. And one of the ways to do that to harmonize, what I'd done is I took a melodic idea and then I put a chord underneath of it. So I'll try that again. So what I was doing is providing like little stabs, little voicings behind my chords. And for that particular idea, although I referenced Ben Monder, I remember listening to Kreisberg's Trioing album and hearing him play these ideas, and hearing these stabs underneath, and I thought, well, that's the coolest thing. And for the most part, I mean, there's a couple different things that I'm applying there. One is using just your guide tones. So in the case of a B-flat 7, using the flat 7 and the third, the A-flat and the D. And in other parts of that, really what I'm doing is just harmonizing using other notes that are available. So I'm not always thinking about a specific chord so much, but rather a sound. So this particular sound here, when I go to an E-flat 7, this is a sus sound. If I go back and analyze what I'm doing here, if I apply this voicing, which is an A-flat, a B-flat, and an E-flat, what I have is the third being raised, so I get this sus. Now if I apply that same voicing over top of the B-flat 7, that also gives me a sus, because it's taking the third and the root and the seventh, the flat 7 here is the A flat, the root, and I'm putting an E flat, which is that sus, that 4, and I can resolve it to the third, right? Okay. So that's one part of what I do to harmonize my solo, is I comp for myself. And another way that I apply harmony to my playing and work on it goes back to what I was talking about in listening to someone like Ben Monder or even Joe Pass, these guys, when they're playing chord melodies. And the way that I incorporated that idea into my playing, because I really had to force myself, because if you're like me, I mean, nowadays I'm more of a hybrid picker. So I'm using the pick and my fingers, but at one time, I would use my pick to comp the chords, and sometimes I still do. I just use the pick. For a while, I would take the pick out of my hand, and then I would just use my fingers, and then bring the pick back when I wanted to play single note lines. And then I realized that was a lot of trouble to do that, so then I just started doing the hybrid picking. But to get into this, what I would do is force myself to just play fingerstyle and play over top of, especially like a blues, because that's something that I think we're all pretty familiar with, is to go through a blues and no matter what, for the most part, I mean, there's times where even I had trouble not to go into lines, but to apply just chords throughout. And I'm not talking about comping, you know, working on your comping for someone, but rather trying to create some melody lines on top of the chords. So now what I'm going to do is show you how I go through just fingerstyle and apply mostly, for the most part, and you know, I have my things that I do just like many of you do, to where you try not to go back into the lines, but the purpose of the practice is really try to maintain this idea of just using chords and creating a voice line over top, which also can be applied to comping behind instrumentalists or vocalists, but you just have to be careful that your melody line is not, you know, conflicting with what they're doing. So now what I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to apply some melodic lines again, but I'm really going to focus on the chord component of this. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you apply that into your playing and you'll start being able to harmonize your own solos. Now keep in mind that it is a little bit of a process. Don't get too frustrated by it, and what you'll notice is that over the days and weeks ahead that it will be a little bit easier for you. Don't forget to listen to other instrumentalists like piano players, because they're really good at doing this too. Hey, before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give it a like, share it with others, and don't forget to check the description below for the link to my musiclessons.com videos. I'll see you next time.